Mathur, Assistant Professor in Center for Electronic Governance. I am the coordinator of FDP in Data Analytics. I introduce Dr. Amal Meena sir for the next session. He is the Associate Professor in MNIT Jaipur. MNIT is the well-known NIT in India. Now I introduce Dr. Amal Meena sir for the next lecture. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now, okay, first of all, good afternoon to all of you. Now I am sharing my PPT. Good afternoon to all of you again. Today we discuss about the cluster analysis, which is also known as clustering. So, first of all, let us first know what is cluster analysis. Cluster analysis or clustering is the task of grouping a set of objects in such way that objects in the same group that called cluster are more similar. More similar means in some sense to each other than to those in other groups. That is known cluster. So it is a main task of exploratory data analysis and a common technique for statistical data analysis used in many fields, including pattern recognition, image analysis, information retrieval, bioinformatics, data compression, computer graphics, and machine learning. So these are the key applications of cluster analysis. Now we will start in detailing what is cluster analysis. So we can see in this slide. Yeah. So cluster analysis foundation rely on one of the most fundamental, simple, and very often unnoticed method of understanding and learning, which is grouping objects into similar groups. This process includes a number of different algorithms and methods to make clusters of a similar kind. It is also a part of data management. In statistical analysis, so it is a statistical method for grouping a set of data objects into clusters. A good clustering method produces high quality clusters with high interclass and low high interclass and low interclass similarity. So what is the cluster analysis? So before cluster analysis, clusters, what is the segmentation? What is the need of segmentation for detailing analysis of clustering? So for example, 10,000 customers. We know that their age, city name, income, what are the employee status, designation of the customers. So you have to sell 100 BlackBerry phones, which cost having 1,000 to the people in this group. So you have maximum 7 days. So, what are the techniques? What are the methods to give the demo to all 10,000 customers in minimum time or minimum number of demos? If you start giving demos to each individual, means all 10,000 customers demo will take more than 1 year. So how will you sell maximum number of phones? By giving minimum number of demos. So this is the very basic examples for understanding segmentation or cluster analysis. So this is the solution for selling the maximum number of phones by minimum number of demos and reduce the time. So these are the solution. We first step is, first of all, divide the all customers into two groups, employed or unemployed. So out of 10,000 customers, employed are 7,000 and unemployed are 3,000. Further divide the employed population groups, high salaried person, low salaried person, and further divide that group into high and low. So these are the simple concept and simple methods, techniques which customers are buy our product by high cost of mobile. So so now these are the pattern. So this is the segmentation policies like cluster. Cluster is a collection of data objects. Data objects may be cases, maybe points, maybe observation, examples, members, customers, patients, locations, different locations, etc. So it is a collection of data objects. Objects may be cases, points, observations, customers, etc. So finding the groups of cases, observations, objects in the population such that the objects are homogeneous means similar to the objects in the same cluster, which is known as intra-class similarity. In the intra-class similarity, that having high intra-class similarity and heterogeneous dissimilar to the objects in the other cluster, that is cluster dissimilarity or low interclass similarity. These are the we can see in this figure when we try to group a set of objects that have a similar kind of characteristics, attributes, that these groups are called clusters. So these are the known as clusters. This is the one cluster, this is the second, this is the third. So in this case, two clusters are there in this side. The process is known as clustering. So it is a very difficult task to get to know the properties of every individual objects instant. It would be easy to group those similar objects. So we can see in this, these are the similar objects, in the similar object, in this case, similar objects, and have a common structure of properties that the group follows. So we know that the process of making of cluster is known as clustering. So clustering is a technique for finding similarity of groups in data or observations or cases, that is called clusters. It means it groups data instances that are similar, means as much as near each other in other cluster, and data instances that are very different, means far away from each other, into different clusters. So we can see in this slide group objects according to their similarity. So our target is a group of objects to make as a similar as much as possible. So cluster means a set of a group of objects that are similar to each other and separated from the other object. So we can see in this slide, green or red points were generated from two different normal distribution. For example, groups people of similar size together to make small, medium, and large t-shirts or any other tailor-made cloth for each person. It may be too expensive. One size fits all does not fit all. So we know that it is these in marketing segment customers according to their similarity to targeted markets. So in our market in different so, uh, organization, our target is to do target market and theirs is similarity. So these are the few key applications of cluster analysis. Out of them, market segmentation is very important for cluster analysis. So first is market segmentation. It is very important. So in this, clustering can also help marketers discover distinct groups in their customer base. What are the requirement of customers? What are the needs of customers? What is the capacity? What are the so different guidelines, gender, occupation, age group, benchmarking. So these are the different choices of. So and they can characterize their customer groups based on their purchasing pattern. It means grouping people with the willingness of the customers, purchasing power of the customer, and the authority to buy according to their similarity in several dimensions related to a product consideration. Now, second is it is also important segmentation, sales segmentation. In this, clustering can tell you what type of customers buy what products, what types of customers buy what products, and another is credit risk. Credit risk segmentation of the customers based on their credit history. How many transaction in previous month, last 6 months, 1 year. Based on this, here use the cluster analysis and operations, high performer segmentation and promotion based on person's performance. In the insurance application, identifying groups of motor insurance policy holder with a high average claim cost. So it is it is also again useful for customer choices. So it is fraud, reduce the frauding in insurance policies. Now, land use, identification of areas of similar land used in Earth observation databases. So these cluster analysis also useful to agriculture sectors for agriculture research point of view. And next is city planning for architectural purpose. So in this city planning, identifying groups of houses according to their house type, value of houses and geographical location to decide the customer's choice. And next is earthquake studies. To observe earthquake studies, epicenter should be clustered along continent faults. Now, what are the requirements of cluster analysis? So these are the enlist few requirements. First is scalability. Scalability, we need highly scalable clustering algorithm to deal with large database. And second requirement of cluster analysis is ability to deal with different kinds of attributes. That means algorithm should be capable to be applied on any kind of data, such as interval based, numerical, data, categorical, and binary data. So it is depend on the results. And next is discovery of clusters with attributes set. So in this, the clustering algorithms should be capable of detecting clusters of arbitrary shape. They should not be bounded to only distance measures. They tend to find spherical cluster of small size. And next is high dimensionality. High dimensionality also requirement of cluster analysis. It means clustering algorithms should not only be able to handle low dimensional data, but also the high dimensional space. And next is ability to deal with noisy data. Databases contain noisy, missing. Some algorithms are sensitive to such data and may lead to poor quality of clusters. And last is interpretability. Clusters results should be interpretable, comprehensible, and usable. So these are the requirements of cluster analysis. Now in cluster analysis, these are the variables which are used in cluster analysis. It may be numerical, categorical, interval scale, maybe according to salary, height, weight, and different other scale. Binary, it may be gender, gender in male or female, nominal, means religions, Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, etc. Ordinal means soldier, student. So these are the different variables which is used for the analysis in clustering. Ratio scale also use population growth 1:10, 100:100. Now, so in today's lecture, we discuss about in detailing cluster analysis classification. So cluster analysis classification, these are the classified into different categories. So first is partitioning method, hierarchical method, density based method, group based method, model based method, constraint based method. So today's lecture we discussed about in detailing only two methods of clustering, partitioning, and hierarchical. So first of all, now we start partitioning method. It is also known as K-means clustering. It is based on the partitioning method. So partition-based clustering is a K-means clustering. So what is the K-means clustering? Suppose we are given a database of n objects, and the partitioning method constructs K partitions. K partition of data. Each partition will represent a cluster and K is equal to n and less than n. So it means that it will classify the data into K groups which satisfy the following requirements. Each group consists at least one object. Every group having at least one group. Each object must belong to exactly one group. So K means algorithm partition the given data into K clusters. So this is each cluster has cluster center that is known as centroid, and K is specified the users. The quality of clustering result depends on the algorithm, the distance function, various techniques for find out the distance measure, and the applications. Now, the meaning of K-means, why it is called K-means clustering? Because K points are used to represent the clustering results. Each point corresponding to the center, that is known as centroid. Okay, that is non-mean of the cluster. Each point is assigned to the cluster with the closest center point. So our target during the solving of a problem, our target is each point is assigned to the cluster with the closest center point, which is known as centroid. Now, that is number K must be specified. K minimum 2, 3, 3, 4. These are the, and K means clustering is it is a very basic algorithm. Now, given K, the K means algorithm is implemented in 4 steps. So these are the procedure steps. First of all, partition objects into K non-empty subsets. Arbitrarily choose K points as initial centers. Assign each object to the cluster with the nearest seed point, that is called center. Get the mean of the cluster and update all seed point again. Go back to step 3. Stop when no more new assignment. So in briefing, the K means clustering unsupervised learning algorithm. There is no label data for this clustering. Unlike in supervised learning, K-means perform the division of objects into clusters that share similarities and are dissimilar to the objects belonging to another clusters. So the term K is a number. K is a number. You need to tell the system how many clusters you need to create. For example, K equal to refers to, it means in their problem 2 clusters. K equal to means 2 clusters. There is a way of finding out what is the best or optimum value of K for a given data. So basic step of K-means clustering is simple. Iterate until stable, no object move groups. Determine the centroid ordinate. After that, determine the distance of each object to the centroids, and finally grouping the object based on the minimum distance. This is our target in K-means clustering method. Now, this is the flow chart of the procedure or steps to solving the K-means clustering method. First of all, define the K number of clusters K 2, 4, Then find out the centroid. After the find out the distance objects to centroids of each, and finally grouping of data sets based on the minimum distance. If yes, then and otherwise go to back step. Now this is the one example of k-means clustering. We can see in this slide. These are the different data sets, and so these are the 1 and 2. These are the two arbitrary choose k objects as initial cluster center. So this is the right now this is not a centroid, because the meaning of centroid is the distance from this to all other data are equal or minimum. So right now this distance is large, this distance is small. So these are the arbitrary k object as initial cluster center. After that, assign each object to most similar centers. So these k1 and 2. Update the cluster means, and now after the find out the minimum distance and relocate our centroid. So in this case, this is the centroid and this is the centroid for this group, and this is the same. Again, reassign, then update the cluster means, and then so these steps are again and again. Now, for better understanding what is the k-means clustering, so the basic example for better understanding, for a better understanding of k-means, let us take an example from cricket. So everyone
सर
familiar.
पीपीटी मूव नहीं हो रही सर आपकी.
This PPT is show the k-means clustering results.
Yes sir, now movable.
और this one assign
Yes.
data points. तीन ग्राफ दिख रहे होंगे ना, दिख रहे हैं?
ग्राफ दिख रहे हैं सर.
ओके, हाँ यहीं पे हूँ अभी मैं ना. नाउ तो better understanding of the k-means clustering method. So let us take an example from cricket. Cricket is everyone familiar with cricket. So in this, imagine you receive data on a lot of cricket players from all over the world, from different countries, which gives information on the runs scored by the player and the wickets taken by them in the last 10 matches. Based on this information, we need to group the data into two clusters, batsmen and wickets. So these are the batsmen and these are the bowlers. So these batsmen and bowler. So we draw a data y plotted on chart by x-axis and y coordinate. So x-axis shows the wickets and y-axis shows the runs. So the information on the y-axis is about the run scored, and on the x-axis about the wickets taken by the player. So we can see that this cluster has players with high run and low wicket for this. Now, but in detailing, we can see in this diagram, we can see that this cluster has players within high wicket and low wickets. So these are the clusters, first for batsmen and second for bowlers. So for better understanding in detailing, so first of all, we draw a chart and decide to key means taking k equal to. So initially two centroids are assigned randomly. So one centroid are assigned for this cluster and second centroid assigned for this cluster. We know that centroid means center point and all distance between them are same, but initially this is a randomly. Initially two centroids are assigned randomly. So first of all, assign the randomly centroid, then find out the value distance Euclidean distance. So find out by using of Euclidean distance, which is very simple basic methods. So Euclidean distance find out for every point. So is used to find out which centroid is closest to each data point. And the data points are assigned to the corresponding centroids. The first step in the k-mean clustering is the allocation of two centroids randomly as k equal to 2. The 2 points are assigned as centroids. Note that the points can be anywhere. Yeah. Initially, you may draw here, you may draw here. So because this is the assigned randomly, not a exact centroid. So note that the points can be anywhere as they are random points. They are called centroids, but initially they are not the central point of given data set.
Sir, your slide is not working. Slide is not moving.
मैं यहीं पर हूँ सर, ये नहीं दिख रहा आपको भी? This one.
काफी कुछ आपको समझ में नहीं आया होगा। Yes, भावेश।
हेलो सर। This one. People or not? तीन स्लाइड दिख रही है, वो 3 ग्राफ्स।
मैं समझ गया आपकी बात, समझ गया सर। जी
ये सर स्लाइड मूव नहीं हो रही सर।
कौन सी स्लाइड दिख रही है आपको अभी? मैं
सर ये तीन दिख रही है, असाइन डेटा पॉइंट क्लस्टर 1 क्लस्टर 2, आप इसी में चल रहे हैं क्या सर?
नहीं, मैं इस पे हूँ अभी, नेक्स्ट वाली पे।
हाँ सर, यही दिख रही है अभी तो केवल असाइंड, ये असाइंड डेटा पॉइंट क्लस्टर 1 क्लस्टर 2 तीन डायग्राम दिख रहे हैं सर हमें तो।
नहीं, मैं नेक्स्ट पे हूँ सर। मैं
हाँ तो सर मूव करो सर स्लाइड।
मैंने मूव किया है, मैं इसमें स्लाइड नंबर डाल देता हूँ एक बार, नीचे थोड़ा।
हाँ सर।
नंबर वैसे सबके पास है, व्हाट्सएप नंबर दूं या कॉलिंग नंबर दूं? चलो व्हाट्सएप नंबर लीजिए 9829407770, ये लीजिए। ऐसे बॉक्स में देख लीजिए आप, ठीक है? और जिसको भी जो प्रॉब्लम आई है, जैसे आज मेरे को बार-बार बुलाया जा रहा है तो मेरे को जाना है, आज हम ये भी खत्म करेंगे और नेक्स्ट क्लास होगी वो मंडे को होगी।
सर एक बार दोबारा शेयर करें आप, शायद हो सकता है शेयरिंग में कुछ प्रॉब्लम आ रही हो।
ओके सर।
असाइनमेंट अभी, हाँ असाइनमेंट मैं आपको दे दूं, आपको प्लानिंग करनी है, प्लीज स्केचिंग मतलब हाथ से बनानी है आपको पेपर पे, सिंगल लाइन डायग्राम और 3, क्योंकि 2-3 का गैप है, आपको 3 प्लानिंग करनी है। साइज अपने हिसाब से कुछ भी ले सकते हैं, नहीं तो मैं दे दूंगा तो ये हो जाएगा सर हमारा छोटा रह जाए या बड़ा रह जाए। आप अपने हिसाब से कोई भी साइज मान के करिए, 3 प्लानिंग आपको करके देखनी है, ठीक है? या फिर 3 को छोड़िए, 3 छोड़िए, आपको एक करनी है, ग्राउंड फ्लोर, फर्स्ट फ्लोर एंड सेकंड फ्लोर। क्लियर? ग्राउंड फ्लोर, फर्स्ट फ्लोर एंड सेकंड फ्लोर, कोशिश करिएगा।
सर अभी भी वही दिख रहा है, पहले वाले प्रीवियस स्लाइड ही।
नहीं, पर मैंने उसको तो स्लाइड ही दोबारा इसको करता हूँ। Our discussion on this slide, we can see in this slide मैं इसको अगेन रिपीट कर देता हूँ. So in this slide, considering the sum data set, let us solve the problem using k-means clustering. So we taking k equal to 2. So initially 2 centroids are assigned randomly, centroid 1 and centroid 2. So measure the distance by using Euclidean distance method, which is very simple method for distance measure. So this is used to find out which centroid is closest to each data point, and the data points are assigned to the corresponding centroids. The first step in k-means clustering is the allocation of 2 centroids randomly. The 2 points are assigned as a centroid, 1 point and first point per centroid for first cluster and second centroid for second clusters. So these are the bowler and these are the batsmen. So note that the points can be anywhere as they are random points because we assign randomly initially. They are called centroids, but initially they are not the central point of the given data set. So this known as centroid, but in initially this is not a central point for given data set for this and this for this. So this is the second step. Next step is to determine the distance between each of the randomly assigned. This is the randomly assigned, and next step is find out the determine the distance between each distance centroids data points. For every point, the distance is measured from both the centroids for this as well as for this, and whichever distance is less, that point is assigned to that centroid. You can see the data point attached to the centroids and represented here in blue and yellow. So exactly we can see in this slide. Now this is the exact centroid for this data set, and this is the exact centroid for this data set. So for this cluster and for this cluster. Initially we assign here and here randomly. So shifted to centroid according to exact value of center points. The next step is to determine the actual centroid for these two clusters. The original randomly allocated centroid is to be repositioned from to this and from to this to the actual centroid of the clusters. So this process now finally we can see in this figure exactly look like this. Centroid continuous until we obtain our final cluster, then the centroid repositioning stops. Finally, we can see in this slide the centroid does not need any more repositioning, and it means the algorithm has covered and we have the two clusters with a centroid. So this is the basic examples for understanding of the k-means clustering by using of batsman and bowler examples. So the weakness and strength of the k-means clustering methods, it is a very simple method as compared to other clustering methods. Simple, easy, and most popular method. The algorithm is only applicable if the mean is defined for categorical data K mode, the centroid is represented by the most frequent values. The user need to specify K. The algorithm is sensitive to outliers. Outliers are data points that are very far away from other data points. Outliers could be error in the data recording or some special data points with very different values. So this is the weakness of the K-means. It is unable to handle noisy data and outliers. Very large or very small values will skew the mean. In the normal distribution, it is not suitable to discover clusters with non-convex shape. So this is the another examples for K-means clustering. So we can see in this slide the value of K is two clusters are there, and the measuring method of distancing, which is the Euclidean distance formula. To calculate the Euclidean distance between points, for example, the mathematical formula for this method, distance equal to root of this. So if 2 points are there, x1 and x2, so A and B, or sorry, x1, y1, x2, y2. So that means x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. So this is the measuring of distance by using of Euclidean distance method. So using of this method, this is the our problem. So these are the data set A, B, C, D, and these are the weight index, and these are the pH index for all individual samples A, B, C, D. And first of all, draw a chart. X-axis shows the weight index and Y-axis shows the pH index value. So these are the our 4 points A, B, C, D. Then we solve by using of K-means methods. So first of all, to select randomly centroid, and first set this and second is this, and find out the each distance from each point, then again locate for the this. So this is the value, and now again, so again and again until the notch at the last point. So in this problem, updated centroid C1 is this our randomly selected and centroid is C1 11 and C2 is the 21, and finally updated centroid is this one. So these are the last, no change in centroid. So this process continuous until that is no change in the centroid. So these are the other partition based clustering methods. So K mediate and K near neighbor. So we discussed about the only K-means algorithm, which is the type or based on the partition clustering method. Now, second is hierarchical clustering method. So this is also very simple and used in various organizations and various real life applications. So in this produce a nested sequence, it is a very commonly used clustering methods. So it is a in this like tree that is called a dendrogram, We draw dendrogram in school levels also. So it is known as agglomerative. So agglomerative means bottom-up clustering. It builds the dendrogram that known as tree, like this tree from the bottom level. So in this case, as much as possible, merge the most similar or nearest pair of the clusters. Stops when all the data points are merged into a single cluster. Uh, it means the root clusters. So this is the other method of hierarchical clustering. Division, that means top down. It is the bottom up. This is the top down clustering method of the hierarchical clustering. It starts with all data points in one cluster. The root splits the root into a set of child clusters. Each child cluster is recursively divided into further. So it stops when only single electron cluster of individual data points remain. It means each cluster with only a single point. So hierarchical divided into two clustering method, agglomerative methods and division method. So in further slides, we discuss about the agglomerative methods. But before, in just idea about the hierarchical clustering. So in this, start with every data point in a separate clusters. Keep merging the more similar pair of the data points cluster until we have one big cluster left. This is called a bottom-up or agglomerative methods. So we can say in this slide, so we can see in this, these are the 15 data set 1 to till 16. So this produces a binary tree, which is dendrogram. The final cluster is the root, or each data item is a leaf. The height of the bars indicated how close the items are. So in detailing, we can see in this. So this for this on this point, this point, this point, this point, this. So these are the draw in all data sets, and from this dendrogram draw by using of these dataset values. So we can see in the slide just a minute. So our target is merging the most similar pairs of the data points clusters until we have one big clusters left. So again, I repeat this. So lastly, so finally, this is our cluster is lab. So levels of clustering in hierarchical clustering method, we can see in this. So So we can count is, so there are 6 clusters A, B, C, D, E, F. In these 4 clusters, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And in these 3, 1, 2, and 3. And in these 2 clusters, 1 cluster here and second is here. And in this 1 cluster. So these are the different levels of clusters. Now, distance between clusters, how calculated by using of different methods. So calculation of the distance between 2 clusters is based on the pairwise distance between members of the clusters. So first is complete linkage. Complete linkage means largest distance between 2 points. Average linkage, average distance between points. Single linkage, smallest distance between points. Centroid, distance between centroids from each point. So complete linkage gives preference to compact and spherical clusters. Single linkage can produce long stretch clusters. So these are the measuring the distance of 2 clusters. We measure by using a single link. Single link, the distance between 2 clusters in the distance between the 2 closest data points in the 2 clusters. One data point from each clusters. It can find arbitrarily shaped clusters, but it may cause the undesirable chain effect by noisy points. And second is complete link. The distance between the 2 clusters is the distance of 2 furthest data points in the 2 clusters. It is sensitive of outliers because they are far away. So average link in this method, distance between 2 clusters is the average distance of all pairs. Centroids in this method, the distance between 2 clusters is the distance between their centroids. So these are the basic examples of hierarchical methods. So we can see these are the 4-5 data sets, and these are the values for different samples. So we can draw like from by using of single link measuring the distance. So like this, draw this dendrogram, and by using of complete link distance measurements like this, and average link like this. So these are the very basic examples of hierarchical. Now, so agglomerative clustering, it is based on the hierarchical methods, and it means the type of the hierarchical methods, and it is more popular other hierarchical methods, that is the DBG methods. So at the beginning, each data point forms as a cluster, that is known as node. Merge all nodes or clusters that have the least distance. Go on merging. Eventually, all nodes belong to one cluster, and the end of the process. So this is the procedure of agglomerative clustering algorithm. So make each data point in the data set as a clusters. Compute all pair distance of each data points. Again, repeat until find 2 clusters that are nearest to each other. Then merge 2 clusters to form as a new cluster. Then compute the distance from C to all other clusters. C means centroid. So until there is only one cluster. So this process go to until there is only one cluster left. So this is the one example for for better understanding what is the agglomerative hierarchical clustering method. So we can see in this slide, so these are the 5 steps: step 0, step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 4. See, these are the basic data sets A, B, C, D, E. These are the 5 samples, 5 objects, 5 points. So we can see in this, these are the common group. These are the, again, these are these. So how using agglomerative? So given a set of n objects, here are 5 objects. So n into n distance matrix. So figure shows the applications of agglomerative nesting and agglomerative hierarchical clustering methods to a data set of 5 objects A, B, C, D, E. Initially, agglomerative nesting places each object into a cluster of its own. Then the clusters are then merged step by step according to some criteria. The using of different and distance measure. The basic process of clustering process is step 1. Assign each object to a cluster so that for n objects we have n clusters, each containing just one object. Finally, one object. Let the distance between the clusters be the same as the distance between the objects they contain. And next step is find the most similar pair of clusters and merge them into a single cluster so that we now have one cluster less. And after that, compute the distance between the new clusters and each of the old clusters. And again, repeat previous steps until all items are clustered into a single cluster of size n. Can be done in different ways, and this means single and complete linkage method of measuring the distance. So, suppose these are the suppose this data is to be clustered. How? So in this example, cutting the tree after the second row of the dendrogram will yield clusters A and B. So cluster A, cluster B and C, and then this is the D and last is F. So these are the 4 clusters. So cutting the tree after the third row will yield clusters so after the cutting the 3 after the third row will yield clusters are A, B, C and D, E, F. So there are 3 clusters. So which is coarser clustering with a smaller number but larger clusters. So like this. So hierarchical clustering dendrogram would be as such. So this is the traditional representation of the dendrogram. So in our example, we have 6 elements. A, B, C, D, E, F. So these are the 6 elements. The first step is to determine which element to merge in a cluster. Usually we take the 2 closest elements according to the chosen distance. So according distance of these elements, so these are the first cluster group and this is the second. So these B, C and D. Then as a clustering progresses, rows and columns are merged as the cluster are merged and the distance updated. Suppose we have merged the two closest element B and C. We now have the following clusters: A, B and C, then D, then E, then F. These are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cases. So merge then further. To do that, we need to take the distance between A and BC. Clusters A and B is one of the maximum distance between elements of each clusters, which is known as complete linkage clustering. So by using the complete linkage clustering, so find out the maximize distance x and y and y in B. So these are the minimum distance between elements of each cluster, which is called single linkage clustering. So these are the method. So the mean distance between elements of each cluster, which is called average linkage clustering. So each elaboration occurs at a greater distance between clusters than the previous elaboration, and one can decide to stop clustering either when the clusters are too far apart to the merge or when there is sufficiently small number of clusters. So now this is the one example of agglomerative clustering. So we can see in this from this A, B, C, D, E, F. So this is the another example. So these are the our in this example 6 elements are there: A, B, C, D, E, and these are the value. And after the solving, so this is the lowest value. So these D and F are one cluster. So now D and initial A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clusters, and after the solving, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 clusters are there. And again solving this problem. So now A and B is another clusters. So like this, we have only 4 clusters: 1, 2, 3, 4. Again solving this problem, so this is the lowest. So again new cluster are one cluster is AB, second C, third is D, F, E. So these are the another clusters. So first is AB, second is C, third is D, F, E. Okay, so now 3 clusters are there like this. And finally, again solve this. So result is this. This is the lowest, and so finally final clusters are, one cluster is AB and second cluster is DF, E, and C. So these are the final clusters. Now we can draw in dendrogram like this. So first of all, using the distance measure methods. So first draw the D and F. So D and F, one cluster. Next cluster is A and B, and after the D, F and E, and last D, F, E and C, and finally all. This is the one big cluster. So we can see from this we draw the chart also. So our this is the one big cluster. This is in this one cluster is DF, another cluster is AB, and another cluster is DFE, and after that DFE and C. So finally is big cluster this AB and DF comma E and C. And finally difference between hierarchical versus non-hierarchical. The type of non-hierarchical methods are K-means, and hierarchical methods are agglomerative algorithm methods. So these are the basic difference between the hierarchical clustering and non-hierarchical clustering. So no decision about the number of clusters in the hierarchical clustering, but non-hierarchical clustering, it is a faster, more reliable as compared to hierarchical clusters. In the hierarchical clustering, the problems when data contain a high level of error, but need to specify the number of clusters that may arbitrarily. Hierarchical, it is a very slow process, time consuming, and initial decisions are more influential, one step only. But non-hierarchical need to set the initial seeds for arbitrary. So today we discussed only just basic theory about the clustering analysis. One is hierarchical, second is non-hierarchical. Hierarchical divided into two algorithmic hierarchical clustering method and divisions, and non-hierarchical method partition in the type of K-means methods. So these are the basic clustering methods to solving the in real life applications in images, data analysis, etc. So thank you.
Thank you, sir, for a very knowledgeable session. Now the next session will be 3 p.m. Hello, may I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yes, sir. Sir, the next session will 3 p.m. In this session, we have एक सेशन विथ हमारे डायरेक्टर सर Deputy Director sir, other faculty also introduce yourself, and one exam midterm like a test कह सकते हैं उसको, टेस्ट एग्जाम है जो आपको इंट्रोड्यूस करना है.
Okay, sir. So what is the timing test?
Sir,
what is
exam timing is 3 to 5.
3 to 5. And sir,
हाँ,
what
हाँ.
is the session timing?
Session is मतलब this is the session and timing is also both in one class, one session.
Okay, okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Exam will be sent in your WhatsApp group, so you can join this.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Master